Matthew, happy birthday. It is your Uncle David. I don't know whether you recognize me. Last time we saw each other, you had stopped by my office at Wake Forest to say hello with your mom, and then your mom had to go do something in her office, and then I told you that she had left and left you with me, and then you went crying down the hallway, and that's the last time I saw you. In any event, happy birthday. I'm sorry that this birthday is not something that we can celebrate together. I was really looking forward to coming over to your house and bringing you a present and eating your cake. But I am happy to be able to say hello to you from the Panda Cave. This is the Panda Cave where I live. I don't know if you can tell why we call it a Panda Cave, but that's what it is. And so I thought, since you're getting older now, I would share some things with you that I think are going to be important as you go on in life. So let me just tell you a little bit about these fellows here. Not that guy, but you didn't get to celebrate your birthday because of this crazy pandemic, which I'm sure your mom is telling you about. But that's my son Mark. His birthday was in February. He turned 20 this year, and fortunately, he was able to celebrate his birthday before all of the health problems came out. Unfortunately, this is my other son, Paul. He graduated from Wake Forest University and he turned 25 this year, but his birthday is March 24th, which meant that we were not able to celebrate with him. This is my daughter, Emily. Guess what? Her birthday is the same day as your birthday. So she did not get to have a birthday party either. And finally, this is my daughter, Hannah. She'll also be 23 years old this year. Her birthday is on April 24th, and so she's probably not going to be able to celebrate her birthday either. She lives in Wilmington, North Carolina. She goes to the University of North Carolina at Wilmington, which is not to be confused with the University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill, which is more like what your mommy would like you to do when you go to school. Now that you're getting older, you're going to have to start thinking about how you're going to make money when you're a teenager to pay for your expenses. I assume that you're going to be playing a lot of tennis. And so, one really good way to make money when you're growing up as a tennis player is to string tennis rackets. So, I don't know whether your mom has introduced you to the tennis racket yet, but it has the frame here, and then the strings on the inside of the frame is what you try to hit the ball with. So what I am doing with this machine here is I'm putting the strings into the tennis racket. And because I am looking forward to having you come over and work for me when you get old enough, I want to show you a little bit about how this is done. Okay, so Matthew, this is what I'm going to be doing. I'm weaving the cross strings in between each of the main strings, and then this machine is going to pull the tension to whatever I want it to be pulled to. So in this case, we're going to do 54 pounds. So I press this machine, it pulls the string really tight, and then I use these clamps here to hold the tension in, and then I let it go, and then I spin this around, and then I can do the next string. So I'm going to do this just like you may take a basket weaving class when you go to UNC Chapel Hill. So this is an example of a weaving technique that's very similar to what you'll do when you're doing your basic weaving classes. So again, the machine pulls it, tension 54 pounds, I let it go, and then I move on to the next string down. I'll just do one more so you get the idea. But again, when you start training for this work, when you turn about 8 or 9 years old, you can come over, your mom can leave you here, and you can just learn how to string tennis rackets with me. It'll be a good time. What do you say we venture out of the panda cave and see what else we can find? Let's go upstairs and see who's there. We may be able to find your Aunt Sandy. Now, you may recognize your Aunt Sandy in some of these pictures here. There she is. These are all pictures that we have taken when we were traveling around to different places. I'm sure that you and your mom have lots of cool photos like this also. All right, let's see where she might be. I hear a noise. There she is.
Hi.
You have
Happy birthday. I'm sorry that you can't come out for your birthday, but I bet next year it'll be a grand celebration.
There you go. And right now, Aunt Sandy is making some masks for people to wear to protect themselves from the virus that's going around. So very important to wear a mask anytime you're around other people, because you could be a carrier of the virus and not even know it, and you don't want to infect other people.
Yes.
So that's that project there. This is Mango. Mango's here trying to help supervise the project.
He just had some snack.
He's just having a little food, and let's continue on. Goodbye, Aunt Sandy. We're going to go check out the outside.
Let's go look at the garden.
So, another one of the things that you'll have an opportunity to do when you come over and visit is to spend some time working in the garden. I'm sure that your mom, being a country girl herself, is already got you working on the domestic garden, but since you're young and have a lot of energy, I'm sure that you'll be able to chip in around here also, and we'll look forward to having you do that. So what we're looking at here is your Aunt Sandy's garden. Tomatoes.
And then corn.
And then in the middle, there's corn. Okay. And then what's over here? Okay.
And then some carrots in between, seeds in between the two sticks.
All right.
And some chives on the end.
Okay.
And I might have planted too early because there's supposed to be a frost. I'm going to have to cover all this up.
Matthew's probably not too concerned about that, but thanks for weighing in. So these are all different kinds of peppers. I don't know if you like spicy food, but I see some jalapeno peppers in there.
Banana peppers.
And some hot banana peppers and some sweet banana peppers. Another thing that you have to think about when you're getting ready to come over and visit is the raking. We have this really, really, really large tree here. We have one that's in our backyard, as you can see, and then there's also one that's equally as large in our front yard. So there's a lot of little leaves that fall off of these two oak trees, and so you can expect to do quite a bit of raking when you come over. Otherwise, here in the backyard, we've tried to eliminate all of the grass that we can. This tree fell down here, and so we had to cut it off at the trunk, and we're going to make a table out of it. Probably go with, this is a portable fire pit here, but we'd like to put some sort of more permanent fire pit there. Always fun to sit around the fire and cook marshmallows and such. But so the backyard, we're going with very low impact, no grass, because grass really is a very unenvironmental sort of vegetation. And it's not biodiverse. You have to use a lot of pesticides and herbicides to keep the weeds away. But in the front yard, we didn't have as much of a choice but to have grass. And so we're working on making the grass better. So you can see that some of the grass is getting long, but in some places I've just planted little tiny baby grasses that are starting to come up. I don't know how well you can see those, but all throughout the yard I've planted these little tiny baby grasses, and hopefully as they grow and get big and strong, then they will help fight the weeds. Because if you can at least get a decent lawn growing, the weeds kind of get crowded out, even though in general lawns are no good. And the final thing that I'll point out here is right across the street from our house is R.J. Reynolds High School. So I don't know what school district you're in. I think you might be in the Mount Tabor School District, and that's where Mark and Hannah, my kids, went to high school. But if you have the opportunity, you could go to R.J. Reynolds High School here, right across the street from my house. And then as soon as you were done with your school, you could come over and string tennis rackets and work in the yard. We really would enjoy having you do that. So Matthew, happy birthday again. I'm sorry that you didn't have a chance to have a party on or near your birthday, but I'm sure that as soon as this health crisis passes, that your mom will rearrange something, and I will look forward to coming over to your house, eating your cake, and giving you presents.